Narrator: calm but serious tone. In a world where power often blinds people to their own duties, sometimes, destiny itself decides to deliver justice in the most unexpected way. Today's story will make you think twice before judging someone by their appearance. Channel intro. Warm, emotional tone. You are watching the official channel, where we bring you heart-touching real-life inspired stories that teach lessons of humanity, courage, and truth. If you're new here, make sure you stay till the end because this story will open your eyes. Transition music fades in. Scene opens on a busy city road in the evening. Narrator: it was a regular evening in the city. The streets were crowded. People rushing home, auto rickshaws honking, and vendors calling out to customers. A young woman, dressed simply in a light blue cotton kurti and jeans, was walking along the sidewalk, carrying a small handbag. She looked tired, maybe from a long day of work. What no one around her knew was that this woman was not just another ordinary citizen. She was IPS Officer Aditi Sharma, a strict, fearless, and honest officer recently transferred to the city. But at that moment, she wasn't in uniform. She had decided to step out casually after office hours, to observe how the local police handled the city after dark. As Aditi walked past the police station area, a jeep screeched to a stop near her. Inside were two uniformed officers. One of them was Inspector Raghav Thakur. Raghav was known among his subordinates as a loud, arrogant man who often misused his badge. He had been warned several times for misconduct but continued to think he was untouchable. He leaned out of the jeep window, smirking. "Raghav. Hey, madam. What's a pretty girl like you doing alone here at this hour? Need a drop somewhere?" Aditi turned her head slightly, her eyes calm but cold. "Aditi. No, thank you. I can manage." Raghav chuckled and got out of the jeep, swaggering toward her. "Raghav. Manage. The city's not safe at night, you know. Especially for girls like you. Let me help." She ignored him and continued walking. But Raghav wasn't done. He stepped right in front of her, blocking her way. "Raghav. Oh come on, don't act like you're some queen. I'm offering help. You should be thankful." A few bystanders noticed the scene. Some slowed down, whispering to each other. No one dared to interfere. After all, he was a police officer. Aditi took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. "Aditi. Inspector, I think you've had enough for today. Step aside." Raghav laughed out loud. "Raghav. Oh ho, you even know my rank, huh? So you've done your homework. Maybe you like cops, right?" He tried to grab her hand. But the moment he did, Aditi's eyes flashed with anger. In a lightning-fast move, she twisted his wrist, forcing him to step back in pain. "Raghav. Ah, what the hell? Who do you think you are?" "Aditi. You'll find out soon enough." People around started filming with their phones. Raghav's junior constable got down from the jeep, shocked. "Constable. Sir, please calm down. People are recording." Raghav, embarrassed, yelled. "Raghav. Switch off those cameras. All of you." Aditi, without even raising her voice, said. "Aditi. Let them record. Truth needs witnesses." Just then, a black official car approached the scene. It stopped right next to them, and a senior officer stepped out. He saluted Aditi immediately. "Senior officer. Good evening, ma'am. We were on our way to meet you at headquarters. What happened here?" The crowd gasped. Everyone's eyes turned to Raghav, who stood frozen. Aditi looked straight at him. "Aditi. What happened? Ask your inspector here. He was just showing me how the city police protect women." The senior officer's face turned pale. "Senior officer. Ma'am, he didn't realize." Aditi interrupted sharply. "Aditi. That's the problem. He didn't realize he was representing the law even when out on duty." Raghav stuttered, trying to cover up. "Raghav. Ma'am, I didn't know it was you, I swear. I thought. Aditi. You thought I was an ordinary woman, so you could misbehave freely. The crowd began murmuring. Someone whispered, she's an IPS officer. Raghav's arrogance melted into fear. Aditi turned to the senior officer. Aditi. I want an immediate suspension order. I'll handle this case myself. The senior officer nodded quickly. Senior officer. Yes, ma'am. Right away. The constable who was with Raghav looked terrified. Aditi's tone softened slightly as she addressed him. Aditi. Remember, being in uniform doesn't give you power to insult or harm people. It gives you responsibility to protect them. Never forget that. The constable nodded with tears in his eyes. Constable. Yes, ma'am. I understand. Aditi then faced the crowd. Aditi. Thank you for standing by silently. I hope next time, no one stays quiet when they see injustice. She got into the car and left, leaving Raghav standing in shame, surrounded by onlookers and flashing phone cameras. Cut to next scene. Police headquarters, the next morning. Narrator. The very next day, Inspector Raghav was officially suspended pending inquiry. The video had gone viral overnight. Millions watched the clip of the arrogant inspector being confronted by the same woman he tried to harass. News anchors called it the lesson of the year. Social media was full of comments praising the IPS officer's courage and composure. Inside her cabin, Aditi watched the news quietly. Her assistant entered with a file. Assistant. Ma'am, the suspension letter has been served. And the media is requesting an interview. Aditi smiled faintly. Aditi. No interviews. Let the work speak, not the fame. The assistant nodded and left. Aditi looked out the window, her reflection blending with the city skyline. She whispered to herself, Aditi. Power isn't in the stars on your shoulder. It's in how you use them. Soft music. Flashback montage begins. Narrator. Aditi wasn't born into privilege. Her father was a school teacher, and her mother a nurse. She grew up watching how women were often disrespected in society, how people in power abused it. She had decided early in life, she would change that system, no matter how hard it got. Her journey to the IPS was full of struggles, long study hours, financial hardships, and people telling her she couldn't do it because she was a woman. But she proved them wrong. Back to present scene. Later that day, Aditi was invited to a women's college to give a motivational talk. The auditorium was filled with young students clapping and cheering as she walked on stage. Aditi. Thank you. I didn't come here as an officer today. I came as a woman, just like you. I faced the same taunts, the same judgments. And recently, I faced something on the street that reminded me why we need to speak up. The audience grew silent, listening carefully. Aditi. A man in uniform thought he could get away with misbehavior because he assumed I was powerless. But what if it wasn't me? What if it was one of you? She paused, scanning the crowd. Aditi. That's why it's important to know your rights. The moment you stay silent, you allow injustice to grow. Remember, the law protects you. Use your voice. Stand up, even if you're alone. The students stood up, clapping passionately. Some even had tears in their eyes. Later, one young girl approached her backstage. Girl. Ma'am, I saw that video. You're my inspiration. I want to become an IPS officer just like you. Aditi smiled warmly. Aditi. Then promise me, when you wear that uniform, never forget why you wanted it. Transition to evening. Aditi walking alone near the same road where the incident happened. Narrator. Days passed. Life went on. But Aditi often returned to that same street, quietly observing. Not as an officer, but as a citizen. She noticed the difference now. More people aware, more women walking with confidence, and even the police patrolling more responsibly. One night, She saw the same constable, the one who was with Raghav that day, helping an old lady cross the road. He saw Aditi and saluted her respectfully. "Constable. Ma'am, I haven't forgotten what you said. I joined the force to serve people, and I'll do it right this time." Aditi nodded. "Aditi. Good. That's all I ever wanted." Soft piano music plays. Narrator. Justice doesn't always come from punishment. Sometimes, it comes from transformation. That one incident didn't just suspend a corrupt officer, it reminded an entire department of their duty. And that's what true leadership means. Scene fades out. Aditi looking at the sunset. Aditi, voiceover. "People may forget your words, but they'll never forget how you made them feel, especially when you stand for what's right." Narrator. In a society where even protectors can become predators, it takes one brave heart to remind the world what justice truly means. Emotional ending music builds. Narrator. So, next time you see something wrong, don't wait for an officer, don't wait for justice to arrive, be the one to start it.